still on the S.S Aqua, which is not anything new. We just battled this guy literally last time. It's been a minute for me. I think it's been a day when it comes to uploading. But one of the things that I guess I annoyed myself would be the proper thing was in the last part I started mentioning basically Kanto's coming up, and it brings up a point of kind of despair, so to say. Even when I was a child I noticed this, but I'm gonna get on a negative bandwagon here, and I'm gonna say that Gold, Silver, and Crystal is probably one of my least favorite games in the series. That's gonna hurt. That might kill me. Never mind, what? Oh yeah, it's level 33. Yeah, there's another point for you of negative. I thought Flail would be stronger, I guess not. But on the point of just Kanto in general, so Kanto is like some people's end-all be-all. And I don't see it as much. I like Hoenn a lot more. Sinnoh's really good. And all these regions are really good. And so going back to Kanto is kind of cheapening to Johto in my opinion. But you know what? It is nice to go back and be nostalgic if you played the original games. It doesn't really make much sense if you just play Crystal or Gold and Silver. So it's a shaky decision, but it was their decision nonetheless. My biggest problem though is that you go back and there's so many things missing from Kanto, and the difficulty is not harder at all. It's even easier. I find Kanto in Gold, Silver, and Crystal to be one of the easiest areas of this game, and that's saying something. Ilex Forest, if you remember, there's finally Body Slam. Praise the Lord. But if you remember back in Ilex Forest, I kept saying, why are we fighting level, I think it was 7s? When we had just fought a Scyther that was double. Like, that was my complaint. Now, think about this. We go to Kanto, and I'm going to tell you right now, when we fight Surge, which is the Vermilion City Gym Leader, his highest level Pokemon will be 44. Okay, it's higher than Will. I'm going to get off my little soapbox for a second. We're going to talk to this girl. Play with me. The captain's annoyed. Grandpa's worried about me. I have to go. And this will allow us to get off the ship. And he will give us a special item. This is the Metal Coat. This increases Steel type moves by 10%, but it also has an added effect. If you trade Onix, Scyther, and I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other Pokemon in this game, but if you do trade those with it equipped, it will evolve into Scizor and Steelix. And we are now in Vermilion. So I'm just going to go straight over into another route, and it will be an example of what I consider to be one of the worst renditions of Kanto ever. We're going to talk to her real quick. Sales on Wednesdays and Sundays. You need to remember that, because otherwise you can't get back without Fly. Which is not really a problem, but... Skill trainers gather in Kanto, gym leaders, and we have a giant Snorlax in our way. Well, curses. I guess we'll get around to that. I'm just going to go up to this route, and it will show pretty fast. But back to my little soapbox. Listen to the music right now. Is gonna repeat very soon, and that's because of limitation. That's fine. I have no problem with that. My biggest problem, though, is the fact that Kanto is here. It doesn't make sense to me to have Kanto be as limited as it is and not focus more on Johto. You could have made a bigger region, a tougher region, and it would have been fine. Actually, Typhlosion, because it's been a while since I've used Typhlosion, seriously. Oh, they're arguing over which is cutest. But I'm going to list off the dungeons that are not in this rendition of Kanto. You have Cerulean Cave, which makes sense actually. I understand that entirely. Seafoam Islands, I don't, because that is probably the only place in Red and Blue and Yellow where you were like, what is this place? I have no directions. Where do I go? And it truly is the only place where you can be like, nah, I don't want to do it, or just go away. You don't have to do it or go in it and catch Articuno. It's your choice. Pokemon Mansion is not in here. That makes sense because of what they did to Cinnabar. We'll get to that. By the way, there's the route. We're done. We are done. That was the whole route. But power plant has been reduced drastically. Makes sense because of what they did to it. Is there not an item here? There's not. Alright, so we're going to go into the Vermilion gym, by the way. Actually, I think I might need... Yeah, of course. But Safari Zone. Though they were working on that, so I'm not going to really blame them. It was time restraints that really got rid of it. And then Viridian Forest, which is probably one of the most iconic places in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Right next to freaking Pallet Town. Because you come from Pallet Town, you get your starter there. And then by the time you're like, man, I don't want a Pidgey or Rattata. And you go into Viridian Forest, you catch Caterpie, a Pikachu. I have several memories of trying to catch a Pikachu. So it's kind of... Who do I want to get rid of? I need Melting. Oh, where's level 44? Yeah, Gengar was level 44. Withdraw. Where... I'll just take Bellsprout. I probably should just get rid of Skarmory, but I don't know. Maybe it'll have some use. But when it comes to just overall the Kanto region in... not Vermilion. In this game, it is disappointing, is basically a waste of my time, and overall, that's my opinion on it. So, I'm gonna try and not be so negative, because that's not my goal. It's just, I get irritated. And one thing that I will mention is, this is the greatest change ever. You do not have to do this puzzle, which is so good, because that puzzle is stupid, and I hate it. Like, I hate it a lot. So one of the things that we will come to fight in all the gym, we will fight every gym leader from Red, Blue, and Yellow, except one, because Koga is an Elite Four Elite Four member, if you remember. Jeez, that was hard. But overall, it's gonna be a pretty short time, and Kanto, like, it's not going to take that long. There's some stuff in Johto I still have to do. And the reason I left it out is because, overall, I don't really need to spread it out because I can just be done with Vermilion City and then move on back to Johto and kind of basically make my own timeline, so to say. I don't have to force myself to finish all of Johto. There's still a couple things I have to do. One of the things I will mention is that in, you saw the Snorlax blocking the area, which I don't know how he went from taking up 1 tile to 4. That must be a massive increase in, like, just mass. But when it comes to waking them up, it's a lot. There's no Pokeflute in this game, so there's another way you have to do it, just to remind people that haven't played this, there is another way. We will just get to it after Lieutenant Surge. Actually, it's going to be a lot longer. There's 3 gyms I want to do before I go do that. My route, usually in the Return to Kanto, is Vermilion. And then I do Saffron. And then I do Celadon. And then I go to Lavender Town. Then I go to Pewter, so that's the 4th gym I do, and then Cerulean through Mount Moon, that's 5, and then I do Fuchsia, and then I go and do Cinnabar, and then of course the last one has to be Viridian, because you actually can't get access to it until you beat the other gyms. That's the route I choose, and it's not even like 4 advantages. It's just a habit that I do it. You can do it any route you want, but I prefer doing Vermilion because you literally just show up here. And then you can get to Saffron really easily. And then Celadon's right around the corner. So you get those 3 pretty much knocked out. You can go and do, what's it called? Fuchsia pretty quick. But, it's just a little out of the way. Even though everything's very like short in comparison to Old Kanto, it still is a decent path to Fuchsia. Otherwise, we're doing fine. As you can see, we're just fighting low 30s Pokemon. It's not really a big deal. Kind of sad that I can't really use Skarmory here, but it'll get plenty of time in the sun, especially since Erica only uses grass. Electrode. It's actually amazing when you think about it. If they were like 4 levels higher, these Electrodes would be outspeeding my Typhlosion. But otherwise, we outspeed them. And I guess I can mention this now, even though it's going to happen soon. Not soon, but soonish. It is possible at this point to rush straight to Lugia and Ho in Crystal. There are certain paths you have to take. You have to get to Pewter for Lugia. And you have to collect the Rainbow Wing for Ho-Oh. So, just letting you know it is possible. I'm not going to do it right now because 1, I don't want to. And 2, it kind of takes away from the moment of getting from S.S Aqua into a fight with Lieutenant Surge. It kind of breaks the pacing and I'm not a big fan of it. So with that, I think I'm going to end it here. Next time we'll be taking on the Lightning American. After defeating Juggler Horn. That was overpowered. Well, oh, that sounds like a personal issue. I think that's it. Yeah, there are only 3. Lieutenant Surge is through there. So next time, we'll be taking on Lieutenant Surge and his electric-type Pokemon. Wonder if they saved him from a new war this time. Questions for later. So till then.